Hi, this is Harish here. Welcome to DB2 LUW Tips and Tricks video tutorial part 160. In this video tutorial, I want to share a tip. The tip is there is inbuilt support for connection pooling in IBM DB2 JDBC driver for Java and SQLJ. The scripts that I'm using, the data files that I'm using are for freely available for download at db2lewacademy.blogspot.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/db2lewacademy. So this is the problem scenario. It's actually not problem scenario, it's a suggestion. The suggestion is that there is inbuilt support for connection pooling in the JDBC driver, like IBM DB2 JDBC driver for Java and SQLJ itself, and it is a version specific. So you'll get it like in the version 4.29 and above. Definitely some confirmation is required, but definitely it works after 4.29 and above. You don't need, like, usually when you go for connection pooling, when you want to implement connection pooling and you are developing a Java application, you go for third-party modules. There is like some separate modules available, like the Apache Commons DBC P2 module is there, and there is also application server which provides the connection pooling mechanism by default. So but it is more like if it is a web application. If it is a standalone web application, you need a third-party module. So you don't need the application server or the separate module. If you can use natively, like in terms of the IBM DB2 JDBC driver itself for connection pooling. But it will be more of a question of features, flexibility versus simplicity, because I'm not sure. Definitely the application server which is providing the connection pooling, or if it is a separate module, the purpose of that module itself is connection pooling, so it might have a lot of features and flexibility in terms of managing the pooled connection objects. Like the basic things are available, like for example, what will be your initial pool size, what will be the maximum pool size, those things are available, but certain environment specific things might be there. That's what. So I don't know, I'm not much into this connection pooling, but definitely I find that whatever I have read a little bit in the internet, like I see that a separate module will be more feature rich, whereas this one might be a little bit less in terms of features or functionality. But and also it supports kind of homogeneous connection pooling, and it doesn't support heterogeneous connection pooling. Again, there is some assertion required. I'm not an expert here. So I think, like, if you get a connection from the pooled object, right, and when you put back the object into the pool, or when you release that object into the pool, the attributes or something, that if the connection specific things which we are setting, it will not get reset, I guess. So if you want that kind of a feature, maybe you need to go for a separate module or something, or you can leave it like that's what they say. I think when they mean homogeneous connection pooling, like it will share all the connections, share the environment variables that are set, the flags, or like for example, consider a auto commit setting, right? So if you want like 3 connections, and one connection with auto commit setting is yes, another connection has auto commit setting no, another connection has auto commit setting yes, and when the connection is getting reused, you might have to reset the state accordingly based on your individual connection needs. So whereas if it can share all those environment variables, they are kind of not changing based on the connection level. You can set it at a global data source level, like that. So the programming wise, yes, the feature wise, there could be something, so needs further analysis and reading. Okay, but just to let you know that this feature is available in the driver itself. So as usual, we'll go with an example. So I want to show you the way you execute the program is very simple. Okay, so all you need to do is the execution of the program. I'll show you, like it's a batch file. Like you can set only the jcc4.jar is required. You can write your Java program and just run it. It's as simple as that. Now let's look at the Java file. Sorry about that. So here you can see that this is the connection pool, the object that I'm talking about, DB2 connection pool, and set the username, password, server name, port number, database name. You can only set certain things on the pool object. If I want to set the driver type, I have to do it on the data source object, and auto commit flag, the client program name, and even some connection specific attributes also I can set. So you can use the connection dot set client info, right? So this is the connection specific information, and I create the statement and I execute the statement and I execute my query and loop through the result set. Now this is the thing. This is the pooling mechanism. Like instead of getting the connection from the data source, I'm getting the get connection method is on the pooled object, which is db2 connection pool class. Like here you can see db2 connection pool class. Okay, and the pooling really happens like, say for example, it's a very simple program. So you have one connection here which is inserting something into this record, and you have the second connection again doing the same thing, and you have the third connection again doing the same thing. So until this state, until this stage of the program, we have three connections. So you should see three application handles on the db2 server side. Okay, and I close the connection 1 and like commit and close the connection. When I say pool.get connection of connection 4, which is the fourth connection, and I'm setting that information here as connection 4. So this is the real connection pooling. Like what happens is, it will on the server side, it will reuse the same application handle which was closed for the connection 1, right? So you should see only three server side connection applications, right? If you execute the command db2 list applications, you'll see only three, but it is actually performing 4 connections. Okay, so let's like execute the program, and then it will be somewhat clear. Okay, so so this is the one. So I'm just executing it. So it compiles and it executes. Okay, so that's your connection 1. Okay, so everywhere it is just I'm just getting an input to pause and show it to you. So you can see like list applications, there is one application 62. Okay, and if you look at this, you can see here, see the application name is JDBC app and it's connection 1, right? So that's a good one. Okay, that's the first connection. Okay, then I just enter something, then it just lists all the values. Okay, then I go to this the same thing. So then I get connection 2 as 67 application handle. So 62 is one application handle. The second application handle is 67. Okay, so which you can see in the list applications as well. Oops, where is list applications? Okay, 62 and 67. So for 2 connections. So now I'll go and do the third connection. Okay, so this is third connection. So you can see 62, 67 and 68. So you can see 62 sorry, 67, 62. So you can see 62, 67, 68. 68 should be the third connection. Oh, I don't see the 68. One second. Yeah, here 68 is the third connection. Now when I go for the fourth connection, right, so 62, 67 and 68, right? So let's revisit 62, 67 and 68. It will not open another application handle, rather because that's the Java program, right? That's what we have that's what we have written. Okay, just close this, sorry about that. Okay, now I have done. Look at that, still it is only 3 connections on the server side, but you can see the 62 is getting reused for connection 4 because you can see it from the attribute. Okay, so that is the idea. So if I go to list applications, you will still see only 3 applications, whereas it is actually making 4 connections. It is reusing the application handle. The physical connection is reused, the logical connection is not, like it's returning to the pool kind of a scenario. And once the program execution is completed, you will see that all those applications are gone. Like the pool is kind of cancelled because the pool lives only as this, because this is a standalone application. If it was a web server, if it was an application server with connection pooling implemented, then it will kind of persist, but it's not the case here. Okay, so you can see like the list applications, nothing is there. So this is the basics of that connection pooling strategy and how it is done. And you can set various properties. You can set your initial pool size, maximum pool size, like there are some variables, right? Auto commit flag, like what else I can think of, I don't know, trace file location, trace log, like all these things you can set. A lot of properties are there which can be set at a data source level and also at a connection level. So what happens to those properties, and when the connection object is getting reused, you should be careful with that when you implement the connection pooling. So those kind of things and nitty-gritty details, those kind of some advanced details is what you should be looking for. So if it is a simple application, and if this suffices your requirement, then you don't need to go for a separate module. That's the tip that I wanted to share it with you. Please subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/db2lew academy. See you in the next video tutorial. Until then, bye bye.